Hey guys, it's Reggie with Ashley Lambert Realty, and I want to show you guys something that's really important for anybody who's looking to buy a basement home in the state of North Carolina. This is a really special room. It's an important room, and it's in the bottom of a finished basement. So let me show you a little bit of it. This right here is a dehumidifier. We are in the mechanical room of a new build house. What you see right here is actually a furnace. This furnace is dedicated for the basement. It actually has ducts that go all over the basement in the ceiling. And what that does is it helps to heat the space in the basement. The AC is actually located outside. It's actually two ACs for this particular house. There is a one AC that actually cools off the first and second floor, and this is the furnace for the basement only. So there's also a furnace in the attic, and that furnace in the attic also heats the first and second floor. But this furnace here, this furnace is only for the basement. Now, what's important about the basement is that in North Carolina, basements are usually walkout basements. And what that means is that these basements actually have more insulation than a typical floor would in North Carolina, which means that during the year, you're going to have pretty good temperature controls. It's going to stay fairly consistent, and you'll enjoy the benefits of being stuck in the ground. You see this wall right here? This wall right here is under, it's a lot of concrete here. When they were pouring this particular house, what they were doing was they were building up this wall and pouring a lot of concrete and rocks here, gravel rocks, right? And they made it solid. What's actually above this right here is the garage. So the garage is actually here and is being used to set up the space to where it's really sturdy. This wall right here, this wall is just simply a wall that separates the other side, which is finished with drywall. So this one isn't very pretty, but that's what this is for, is just to separate a wall. In a basement, they don't finish the ceiling in the mechanical room, so you may see something that says unfinished storage and mechanical. And this is what they mean when they say mechanical. This is literally a room where your mechanical things, like your furnace, your dehumidifier, and even if you had a water heater down in the basement, it would be down here in this room. This is where that stuff is supposed to go. It's literally separate and specially made just for that. Okay, let me explain to you guys really quick what's going on with this particular unit. Okay, you see all these ducts here? These ducts right here are really important. This is where the air is coming out of. These are really well taken care of. What you'll see right here is the actual gas line, and you'll know the gas is on when the line is pointing straight up. So whenever this is pointing straight up with the line, that's how you know it's open. That's how you know the valve is open. If it were turned to the other side like that, then it would be closed. But we don't want to close the gas because it's still cold here. So we want to keep this on. This particular unit is a good unit. It also has a pump here on the side so that any moisture that gets picked up by the unit when it's doing its heating can actually be pumped out and literally pumped out of the house, following this line right here all the way out to the exterior of the house, which is really cool. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some more stuff here. So this is a big unit, and growing up in North Carolina, growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, I had a furnace in my basement growing up, and I had no clue what that particular unit was. I didn't know what it was until I got much older, and my parents explained to me that it was a furnace and what the furnace's purpose was. So seeing it, I'm used to seeing it in the basement, especially in the unfinished part. We actually put, like, what we did growing up was we actually had our some storage down here for, like, I think old magazines and canned goods and stuff like that. That's where we used to put our stuff at because we didn't have a pantry in our house. Our old house was built in 1983, but you know, with the newer houses, there's more storage space in them. I want to talk about this unit right here, though. This unit is really awesome. This right here is a dehumidifier. Now, you may say, what is a dehumidifier? Well, a dehumidifier is literally a device that takes the moisture out of your air. That is right. Why is that important for a basement? It's important for a basement because basements can sometimes trap moisture because it's in the ground. Half of it's in the ground, or a lot of it is in the ground. You want to get that moisture out of there. You want the particular environment to feel very comfortable and somewhat, you know, dry. You don't want to walk in your basement and smell moisture. A dehumidifier like this one will definitely help with reducing that particular issue. Now this dehumidifier, I'm going to show you really quick. This right here is a return. So on the other side of this wall, there's a return here, like you would see in most of any house with the filter, with an air filter. And what this is doing is taking the return duct and is running all the way down to the dehumidifier. So what's happening is that the return duct is acting like a part of the unit. And this is all tied together. The dehumidifier is literally tethered into the furnaces to work together. So even if the furnace is not on, the dehumidifier knows and it can still regulate the temperature, even if this thing is not functioning with heat. The fan would actually cut on here. So what you would have is it would start sucking that air out of here with the duct, and it was still let the dehumidifier do its work if the dehumidifier determines that it's too humid based upon the setting. Right here, you have a setting number. Let me see. There we go. Right here, you have a setting number for how much of a moisture percentage do you want in that particular room. I chose 45. I had it set at 50. I didn't like 50. 45 feels a lot better to me. Prior to this unit being installed, I didn't realize how much moisture was in the air. Now that it's installed, it does feel better. It feels more comfortable in the living space. And you can see that this one actually has its own pump too. What's important about dehumidifiers, or to understand about dehumidifiers, is that the way they work is they're similar to air conditioners. You can kind of think of them like a reverse air conditioner. So what it does is it has different coils inside of the system where it's pulling the moisture out of the air, right? And it's extracting it and it's putting it somewhere for it to be captured. In this particular unit, since it's using a pump, it's just going to pump it out to the exterior of the home. You may have seen some dehumidifiers that actually allow you to, say for example, there may be some dehumidifiers that you've seen that allow you to, let me turn it this way, that allow you to just put it into a container, like a couple gallon container, and then dump it out. Those are awesome as well because those are very portable. I actually used those in a few of the houses that we had just to make sure that we were cleaning the air and making sure it was very presentable for the seller and making sure that they were getting the best bang for their buck when it came to presentation of their house. Now, growing up in North Carolina, again, I was used to having a dehumidifier and I was used to being responsible for emptying out the dehumidifier. And usually it's something even a child can carry. You basically just pick up the water, take the water container out where it collects all the water at, and take it to a toilet. You can dump it in the toilet. Just be careful because sometimes it's really easy to spill that out of the toilet and things like that. Or you can dump it outside. Either way, doesn't matter. Just get the water out. The unit cuts off automatically usually when you pull it out. I've actually got two dehumidifiers, but of course you guys know they're at my old house and they're not here in my current house because I didn't have any moisture issues in this current house. They did a really good job with the drain around the foundation of the basement. So I'll give Pulte credit on that. But let's see if I missed anything here. The dehumidifier is not on right now, which is great, which means that it's maintained the level and it's got the level and it's doing its job. Another thing that I like about it is that it's got a catch basin here. Just in the event that it were to, if the pump were to fail, it were to spill out, it would just capture some of that. Also, the furnace has that too. The furnace also needs to be able to get the moisture out of it, which is why it also has a pump over here, like I mentioned before. So this is like a pretty good sized furnace, and the whole space in general, it was very well laid out. These are actually exhaust pipes right here. So they get some of that gas fume out of here. Therefore, it's not stuck in the house. It's actually moving outside. And it's actually dumped to the exterior of the house. The ductwork you see here, this is actually moving to the different ducts inside of the basement, the finished basement. And that's why I like finished basement options so much. There's so many things that are already taken care of and you just don't have to worry about it. So I really enjoy that. And yeah, so this is just a basic explanation of a mechanical room. Now, let's say, for example, you were to have a water heater down here. So let's say maybe you had like a kitchen or something like that, then that would also be in the basement. And you would definitely want to make sure that your water heater is has all the particular pressure that it needs to get the water to wherever it needs to go. Typically, I don't remember if the house I grew up in had a water heater in the basement, but that was a long time ago, and specs changed. So perhaps that's not how that was, but I don't really remember for sure. But I know it had a big old green furnace, and it was super loud, and it used to scare me when I was a kid. I'll never forget that, being told to go play in the basement, and then the furnace cuts on, and it's like, oh my gosh, what is that crazy sound? So that was one of the things too. But either way, guys, I just wanted to give you guys an informal introduction to what a mechanical room would be. And if you have any questions about that, any comments about a mechanical room, please don't hesitate to contact me in the descriptions. If you're looking to buy or sell your house in Charlotte, North Carolina, please go ahead and contact me, Reggie Jamerson with Ashley Lambert Realty. I've been in real estate for over 5 years, guys, and me and my wife, we're a team. We're Team Jamerson. So if you're looking for something like that, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Please let me know what else you want to know about in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye. Hi, I'm Reggie, and welcome to my real estate YouTube channel. I'm a North Carolina realtor with Ashley Lambert Realty, servicing the Charlotte metro area. On my channel, I post videos explaining the home buying and selling process. I also have some tips and tricks for real estate, DIY projects, and of course, home video walkthroughs. Make sure you subscribe for new content and comment below to introduce yourself. I look forward to hearing from you.